Hello, Booktube. Hello, friends. Welcome to Lizziefaye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth, and it is the midpoint of March, and I thought it would be fun to give you a mid-month update of what I've been reading for March Mystery Madness and what I have finished so far in the month of March. I hope that you are having a fun March. There is so much going on in the month of March on Booktube, not just March Mystery Madness, but all the other readathons and everything, and I hope that you are finding something fantastic to read, and I hope that you are making new friends. You know, just in March Mystery Madness alone, if you just go on YouTube, not only the hosts, but if you just go to your search bar on YouTube and type in hashtag March Mystery Madness or just the words March Mystery Madness, do both, you will find all of the like-minded kindred spirits. Some from previous years are mixed in. It won't just be this year, but I hope that you will do that at least once this month and find some new friends who also enjoy mysteries. And I just am so excited about the friendships that I have made through this readathon, and I'm looking forward to the ones that I will continue to make in the future. It's gotten so big that I can't even keep up with all of the videos, and that's a great problem to have, but I feel bad because I know some of you have done some fantastic videos that I haven't seen or that I haven't found and that I haven't had time to watch. So just know that I've seen your thumbnails and I'm hoping to get to your video if at all possible, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you for all the shout outs. Thank you for participating, and I just hope that you are having a great time. So for the month of March so far, I have finished 7 books. 3 of them are books that I started in the month of February, and I think 2 of the 3 are mysteries. And then the rest are books that I started this month, either for March Mystery Madness or for my book club or whatever. Now, I carried over 7 books from February. A couple of them were big tome, mammoth type books that I'm still working on, but I did finish a few of the shorter ones, and I hope to finish at least a couple more of the ones that I started in February. And then I plan to listen to and read more books, more mysteries in the month of March. So let me just show you what I finished so far. Now, I just had book club today, and usually my book club, my local library book club, reads at least one Irish book for the month of March. Now, we have 2 book clubs. One is a mystery book club and one is a literary book club. And our leader for the literary book club has Irish roots, and she always likes to read some type of Irish related book. So this year we read We Are the Brennans by Tracy. I don't know if it's Lang or Lange. It's probably Lang, but I don't know for sure, and I'm sorry I didn't look that up. This I thought was pretty good. I rated it 3 stars. I didn't love everything about it. It's a family drama, and of course, it's dramatic. There's lots of secrets and twists and turns and things like that. Not a thriller, but just, it's very twisty. In fact, this one and the book that we read for our mystery book club this month, Apples Never Fall by Leanne Moriarty, both were described by book club members as being like a soap opera. Now, I didn't quite finish this yet, but I'm hoping to get to finish it by the end of the month. I've said this before. I used to love to listen to CDs in my car, but now my car CD player is broken, and I just have a hard time getting to CDs in the house, even though I do have a CD player, and I can do it. It's just, I have, you know, you have to be stationary in one room for a few minutes to get this done. And I'm in line, in queue on overdrive, so I may just go ahead and turn that CD set back in and wait until I can get it on overdrive. So anyway, both of these were my book club books. This one I finished, and we met about this one today, and then we met about this one last week, and I did not get it finished yet, but I will. So I also finished another book that I started last month that is on my Booktube Spin list for round 5. If you are participating in Booktube Spin, you know, for the last couple of spins, he has spun twice. So this is one of my 2 books. I did all audio for round 5 so that it would just be easier for me to get to them. I mean, by all audio, I mean all of the books, all 20 books on my list were books that I knew I could get on audio. So I have actually started the second book today, actually, and I'll show you that in a second. Well, why not just show it to you right now? It is Chicks with Sticks. It's a Pearl thing, which is the first in a trilogy by Elizabeth Leonard. So I started that today. It's a YA book that has to do with knitting and everything. But this one, I found this book somewhere at a library book sale, I think, and it just looked cute. It looked fun. It is Southern humor, but I do have to say it's not to the caliber of, let's say, Fanny Flagg, who, in my opinion, is one of the queens of Southern humorous fiction. It was cute, but it didn't blow me away. I enjoyed it, but I probably wouldn't read it again. This is about a woman whose adopted daughter has grown up and gotten married and had 2 children and then run away, basically. She left her family, left her 2 children with the grandmother, and left her husband, and I think it had been 5 years, and they didn't know where she was or what had become of her. And then they see her on a TV commercial. Her friends, her and her sister and her friends. When I say her, I'm talking about our main character. I already forgot her name. But she runs a bowling alley. She's a widow. She runs a bowling alley. And so she leaves the bowling alley, and she leaves it in the care of a friend, and her sister and her daughter's mother-in-law actually get in a RV and travel from somewhere in the South to California to find her daughter. And that's the story of it. It's basically about the journey and how that goes. And they take the kids with them as well. So I enjoyed it. Like I said, it didn't blow me away, but if that sounds interesting to you, then you might want to pick it up. It is available on audio. I think on Hoopla is where I listen to it. So if you have Hoopla and you like Southern humor, then in Southern fiction, you might enjoy this. I think it is set actually, okay. This is one of the issues that I had with it. I could not pinpoint exactly when it was supposed to be set. And maybe that was on purpose from the author, because the sister of the main character wanted to be on The Price is Right. Well, I didn't think The Price is Right started until like the 70s. Turns out I was wrong. It did start in the 50s. And I think Bob Cullen was the original host. Then I think it went away for a couple years and then came back with Bob Barker as the daytime host and Dennis James as the nighttime host. I first saw it at night with Dennis James. I didn't realize that Bob Barker was the main host of The Price is Right at first when I was a kid. But then they're talking about Rod Roddy. And so Rod Roddy didn't join the show till 1986. Now, I don't have all this on the top of my head. I had to go back and look this up. But the thing that threw me is that the lady who ran away, her daughter, the little girl, was carrying around a Mrs. Beasley doll. Well, Mrs. Beasley is from my childhood. I have a Mrs. Beasley doll. I still have it. So either she just kind of meshed the time frame and threw in all these pop culture references, or maybe the little girl had a Mrs. Beasley doll because maybe it had belonged to the grandmother, who would probably be closer to my age, or the mother. I don't know. I don't know. But I kept trying to. It would pull me out of the story to go and think, okay, but wait, this couldn't have happened at the same time as this, And I know I get too literal. Instead of just enjoying the story, I was worried about, when is this? It sounds like something my own mother would worry about. But some of y'all may know what I'm talking about. Anyway, it was fun, but I wouldn't rate it 5 stars. I would probably give it 3.5. I round up to 4. So, if you care about that sort of thing, that's probably where it would land with me. Then another book that I started, which I don't have a physical copy of, I'll put a picture of it here, is I started this in February, finished it up just yesterday, a couple days ago. This is the most recent in the Coffee House Mysteries by Cleo Coyle. It's Honey Roasted. I have no excuse for why I didn't finish this in February. I just let time get away from me. The first book in that series is On What Grounds, and the book that I read is number 19, and I have read all of them in order. I did a binge of the series back a couple years ago, and really enjoyed them. I have always, though, and will continue to say that this series as a whole is a little on the steamier side of cozies. Not graphic, but just, as far as the romance and everything, there's a little more innuendo, a little more steaminess, that kind of thing, than your average run-of-the-mill cozy, at least what I think of as cozy. Now, I've been hearing a little bit more about like a millennial cozy, which I think is a little more on the gritty side, a little more cursing, things like that. I wouldn't put this quite there, but somewhere in the middle, maybe, between super cozy and millennial cozy. Some of you may disagree with me. A very enjoyable series, though. And I think, though, I didn't enjoy this one as much as the one previous, which had to do with memory loss, and I thought that was fascinating. This was still a fun mystery, and, it's a series that I would recommend. And I think it's better to go in order. You wouldn't necessarily have to, but there are a lot of personal things that happen with the main character and the group of side characters, so it's better to go in order for this series. And but like I said, the one I read, though, is the most recent one, Honey Roasted, and it does have to do with bees and honey. So there you go. I did a couple of read-alongs. Now, in past years, I have tried to participate in all the read-alongs of all the hosts, and then, a lot of times I'll do that, and then I don't get read what I need to read, and I just decided to give myself a break on that. I don't think anyone ever expected me to participate in all the read-alongs, but I did want to do a couple, and Elizabeth Tyree, who is also one of the new hosts this year for March Mystery Madness, did several read-alongs, and one of the ones that she did is the first book in the Trixie Belden series. And I had been curious to go back and read this first book. I don't know if I ever actually read this first one, but I know when I was a kid, I did read one or two or maybe three Trixie Belden books. I was more of a Nancy Drew girl, but I remember reading at least a couple of Trixie Belden books. Now, this was written originally and published in 1948, and it still has that feel. I don't think they have gone through and updated the series like they did Nancy Drew. Now, two different sets of people. I don't think these have the same publishers or anything, but I liked that. I liked that this still had that 1948, 1950s feel to it. And you could tell it was written in a simpler time. Well, I say that, but I mean, we're just in 1948, we're just coming out of World War II, so I don't know that you would call it a simpler time, but it felt like it in this book. It's set in a rural area, and I enjoyed the kids. I will say, I think in comparison so far from just this first book, Trixie seems a little more real and flawed than Nancy Drew does. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys have done everything and know everything about everything, and that's okay. It's just not realistic. Trixie feels a lot more real than Nancy. I'll just throw that out there. And I would definitely read more. It ends on a kind of a cliffhanger. The mystery and the action in this book is wrapped up to an extent, but then there's a cliffhanger at the end, and if I was a kid reading this, I think it's really probably brilliant on the part of the author and the publisher to do it like that, because had I been a kid and read this, which leads me to think that maybe I didn't ever read this first one, I would probably be like, Mom, we have to go to the store right now and get the next Trixie Belden book. I have to know what happens. That's really probably what I would have done. I did enjoy it. Anyway, I don't know if I ever said the title. It's The Secret of the Mansion. This is actually a new edition. They were republished, reissued. What is the word I'm saying? What am I trying to say? New editions came out in the 70s, which were the editions that I would have read if I read any. And I know I owned at least one, and I think a friend of mine had two or three, and I want to say that we traded back and forth. And then this one, I think, was published in maybe 2007, but I'm almost positive that the 2003, I can't read without my glasses, at least not well, 2003, so my husband may be home now because the dogs are barking. So if you hear a lot of dogs, sorry about that. but I don't think anything was changed. I don't think any text was changed. It's just an updated cover, and I got this from the library. So I think that only a few, maybe the first 6 or 8, have been updated in this edition. So I might at least go ahead and read whatever I can get a hold of, over the next couple of years. I think Beth is reading the second one this month as well. I'm probably not going to have time to squeeze it in, but at some point I do want to continue reading more of the Trixie Belden series. So a couple of times people ask me, what am I most excited about for March Mystery Madness? And I'd have to say it was this one right here. The Left-Handed Twin by Thomas Perry is book 9, I believe, in the Jane Whitefield series. This is a suspense series. I wouldn't even really call it a thriller, and not a mystery, but it's so good. Definitely crime fiction. I listened to this all in one day, and I really, after I finished it, I thought, I really want to go back and read this whole series. I love it. There were a couple of F-bombs that I thought were completely unnecessary, just out of the blue, and I'm like, it's almost like, and it was quite a few chapters in, and it's almost like the author thought, oh, I better throw that in somewhere, because it was just out of place, and I thought, ugh, there's no need of that. They're great books without any of that. All of these are about people who are trying to disappear because they're in danger. And Jane Whitefield is a Native American woman from the Seneca tribe of New York, and she knows how to help people disappear. And they're just fantastic. I love them. The first one, The Vanishing Act, is the first one. I would say start there, although I read the third one first, and then I went back. It doesn't really matter. But I would, it's good to start with the earlier ones just because they're great. So I highly recommend. Couple of others. I also just finished some cozy mysteries. I started this one in February and just finished this up last night. The Cat, the Professor, and the Poison by Leanne Sweeney. It's book 2 in the Cats in Trouble mysteries. I don't remember much about book 1, and if I'm going to continue the series, I think I need to go back and listen to it, because I bought it on Audible. It's in my Audible library. So I think after the month is over and I get done with all of my TBR for March Mystery Madness, I may go back and listen to the first one again, and then go ahead and pick up book 3. I have several of these on my shelf. This was really good. I think this series, if it continues to be this good, is going to be in my top 5 favorite cozy mystery series. It was that good. I really enjoyed it. And then I also, on audio, listened to A Stitch in Crime by Betty Hechtman. This is book 4 in the Crochet Mystery series. I thought I was going to finish this last night. I had 2 hours to go, and I was listening on double speed, so I could have gotten it done in an hour. I finished up the Cats in Trouble book, and then I put my earbuds in, and I fell asleep. So I had to listen to the last 2 hours this morning, but that's fine. This was good. I enjoyed the mystery. In this mystery, the Tarzana hookers are, they have gone on a retreat. And it's not just a yarn retreat. It's kind of I forget the name of it, whatever they called it, but it's sort of a creative retreat, because there was a writing workshop, and there was several other creative types of workshops and seminars at this one retreat. And of course there's a death, which turns out to be a murder, and it goes from there. One of the main characters in the series was not there. She had been called away for something else, so we didn't have her in the book, and she's one of my favorite characters, so I kind of missed her being there, but our main character is still there, and the main side character, who's sort of the thorn in the side of the main character, was there, and she's hilarious. All of her antics. Sometimes I remind myself of her, because I kind of do things like that side character does. I'm kind of overbearing that way. Anyway, it's fun. I enjoyed it, and I will definitely continue the series. So I think that's everything that I've finished. I'm still working on my buddy read, which is Murder in Old Bombay by Nev March. I'm about halfway done at this point, and I am a little bit behind in where I'm supposed to be at this point, but I had said in the Goodreads group that, my goal is to check in every weekend. So as long as I read 4 more chapters today, 5 chapters tomorrow, and 5 chapters on Saturday, then I'll be where I need to be. They're not long chapters, though, which is great. I love the short chapters of this book. This is set in 1892 in India, and it's very enjoyable. This is going to be our book club for my mystery book club next month, and I'm glad that I'm getting it done early, and I'm excited that several of you wanted to read it with me. And if you have not thought about reading it, but you're interested in it, the discussion threads are in the Mystery Madness Goodreads group in the Whodunits Club folder. And it's not too late. I mean, even if you pick it up months from now and you want to go back and make some comments, I would love that. That'd be great. So then the other books that I plan to read in the next couple of weeks, well, or the next few days, really, I already have these checked out on Hoopla. To Helvetica and Back by Paige Shelton. This is the book the first book in, I think it's the Dangerous Type series that the Killing Time with Cozies group is reading over the next few months. And so we're reading this first book right now for March Mystery Madness. The discussion is going to be this coming Saturday, and which is the 19th. So I've just got a couple of days, but I decided to go ahead, since I've got this on audio, I thought, I'll just save it till the last minute. That way it's fresh on my mind. If I have to read something in print, I have to start much earlier, but audio, I can do it a lot faster. I have the next 4 of these checked out on Hoopla because at the end of February, I had so many borrows left, and I thought these are quick and fun, and I want to binge this series this month. So this is the Needlecraft. What is it called? Oh my goodness. There's an embroidery pattern included. Needlecraft. Okay, I just want to get the words right. This is the Needlecraft Mysteries, and I already forgot which book this is. This is book 7. Okay, so I am listening to these in order. They are all on Hoopla. This is Cutwork. Now, I am kind of kicking myself because I'm doing the ABC challenge with the Killing Time with Cozies group this year. And I didn't think I had a book that starts with C that I could get on audio. So I decided to pick this one up off my shelves and read it instead. So I haven't been able to, because I've imputed on myself to read in order, and I started this last month, I'm a little bit behind. Had I realized that the next 2 books I needed to read in this series both start with C, I could have just listened to this one last month and that would have been fine. But I'm kind of glad it worked out this way, because if I hadn't realized that, I would have missed out on this, and this was really good. So I'm glad that I ended up picking this up, and it all works out in the end, because now I can start a book that starts with D, and I've been saying for years I was going to read this book. I am going to start this month. It might take me a few weeks to read it, but this is Death Threads by Elizabeth Lynn Casey. It's book 2 in the Southern Sewing Circle Mysteries, and it's one of Tiffany, the Beachbum Bookworm's favorite series. I loved the first one. I just thought it was fantastic. And if you haven't picked this up because you think, Southern Sewing Circle, I'm not really interested in sewing, it's not just about that. The main character is actually a librarian, and, it's got that element as well. So if that is a deal breaker for you, and that might make you want to pick it up, even if you're not interested in sewing, then definitely pick it up. This one is called Death Threads. The first book I think is called So Deadly, and it's so good. Anyway, I'm going to listen to the next 4 of these. This one is called Cutwork. The next one is Christmas theme. It's called Cruel World. And I can't remember the next 2, but I've got them all checked out on Hoopla, and I will get to those because they all expire within the next 5 days. So I got to get a move on. Anyway, there will be other books that I will read and pick up from March Mystery Madness, and I didn't even pull my book to bring in here that tells everything that I plan to read, but so far so good. I'm getting a lot read, and I'm happy about it. So that is it for this video. I will be back soon with some more of my shelf spotlights on the cozy mysteries that I have collected, so I hope you will watch for those. And for now, that's all for this video. I thank you for watching. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.